My name is Joe Hurley, and I'm going to tell you a bit about Doonbeg Parish. From here, which is the site of St. Sinan's altar, we can see Doonbeg Parish stretching away a vast plain eastwards towards Dromillahe Hill, Curraclare, Milltown Malbay and Liscannor. Now, when we were going to school, we were told that Ireland was shaped like a saucer, flat in the centre and rising towards the coast. Well, Doonbeg is a microcosm of Ireland. It too is very flat. And as you can see, we have the hills of Killard to the north, Dromillahe Hill to the west, or to the east rather, and stretching right as far as Kilrush. And from this vantage point, we can see the whole parish. It's called Doonbeg, but in olden times it was known as the parish of Killard High Church. And it got that name from the local saint, St. Sinan. And here we have a statue of St. Sinan, recently erected, and it was sculptured in Australia, commissioned by a local priest, Monsignor John O'Shea. And it was flown home a few days ago. Well, now we are told by tradition that St. Sinan arrived here on a flagstone, carried high through the air from Mutton Island in the north, and then he reached Killard, and there he founded his first church, Killard High Church, and that's the name that was given to the parish, and that name was used up to a century ago. From Killard then he came here to Tullaher Hill, where we stand. And on this high hill he is supposed to have received a bell from heaven, ringing. And in thanksgiving for receiving that bell, he built an altar here, and this is called St. Sinan's altar. Now, as you can see, the view is quite spectacular. Flat, stretching as far as North Clare, and on a clear evening one can see Arden Islands, Cliffs of Moher and even County Galway. So this is St. Sinan's altar, and the saint lived in the 6th century and has many associations with West Clare. A lot of people around here are called Sinan. Many churches are dedicated to him, including St. Sinan's Church Balaha, St. Sinan's Church Kilkee, St. Sinan's Church Kilrush, St. Sinan's Curraclare. The team in Kilkee is known as St. Sinan's GAA team, and in Kilrush they have an athletic club, St. Sinan's AC. West Clare immigrants who went to London and settled there after World War II, they founded a GAA club, and yes, you've guessed it, they called it St. Sinan's Club. So St. Sinan is quite a remarkable man in this part of the world. We are going to take you now to visit the 5 schools of Doonbeg Parish, also its churches, monuments and places of interest. So I want you to sit back now and relax and see these places as they come up. A short distance from St. Sinan's altar we have this graveyard, and it is known as Kiltinan Cemetery, Kilshannon Church of Sinan, again pointing out to the strong tie that St. Sinan had with this area. Today we have a signpost marking out St. Sinan's Well, which is within the graveyard. Some of the graves here are quite old, dating back to the time of the famine. You can see the vaults here in the background. Now, right across the road from the graveyard, we have Bansha National School. And it was built in 1879, and the people around here claim that their school, built in 1879, was the same year that Patrick Pearse was born. Quite a nice school, renovated recently, and it's situated actually on the boundary between Doonbeg and Kilkee parishes. This is the sign for Balaha. Balaha which means Béal Áha, mouth of the ford. And a little distance up the road, we'll come to a bridge over a river, and that is the ford across the river, hence Béal Áha. In the background, you see Bealaha Church. This was built in 1870, and it too is dedicated to St. Sinan. Quite a beautiful church, and recently renovated by the parish priest, Father Pat Lynch. Just behind me here we have Bealaha Bridge and Bealaha River. And before the bridge was built, it was a crossing place or a ford. That was in the days when people travelled on horseback. Now, there's a great story about this bridge. It was quite near here that Colach Bealaha lived, and she was the hag of Bealaha. Now, she's reputed to have killed an unbaptized child, and of course she was damned, according to the legend, when she died herself. But her ghost used to appear here and frighten the living daylights out of people. Anybody who passed there, they were in danger of being attacked by this Colach Bealaha. And there's a lake some distance from here where she's supposed to have drowned eventually, and thanks be to God, that was the end of Colach Bealaha. But the story lives on. This is Baltard National School. Baltard is situated in the high part of the parish, and as the name suggests, Baltard Balla Ard, high wall. Some people say it refers to the Atlantic coastline, and in the distance you can see Baltard Cliffs, and they present a high Atlantic coast wall, second only to the cliffs of Moher. Baltard is famous too because for some inexplicable reason it's the only place in Ireland that escaped the potato blight at the time of the famine. Now, a short distance from Baltard you have the Blue Pool fishing grounds and also Killard, the high church where St. Sinan built his first oratory. In this frame here we have the ruin of Killard Church. Beyond the bay one can see McGrath's Point, Rhinagonacht. And then beyond that again the outline of Duckmore Sandhills and Duckmore Bay. This is the Paddy MacDonald Memorial. Paddy MacDonald was the only Clareman ever to win an Olympic gold medal. As you can see from the memorial here, he was a prodigious figure, 6 feet 4 inches in height, weighing over 20 stone. Actually, he was born a short distance here from the White Strand, and we are told his father was quite a small man, and he got his physique from his mother. Paddy was a champion weight thrower, shot put, hammer and such, and he learned the skill of throwing the shot when he was a young fella down here on the beach, when he was throwing sandstones out onto the tide. Later he went to America, joined the Metropolitan Police in New York, and there his great talents were discovered. He won his first gold medal in Stockholm in 1912. He also won a silver medal. I'm sure he'd have won far more had the games been held in 1916, but they were cancelled due to World War I. But when the games resumed in 1920, back came Paddy MacDonald and he won his second gold medal. Therefore he won a total of 2 golds and 1 silver in a span of 8 years. Doesn't he look an impressive figure? This was sculptured by Jim Connolly of Kilbeha, and the memorial was put up by a local committee in admiration for Paddy MacDonald, the Olympic champion. Here we have Killard Blessed Well, a short distance from the White Strand. It is one of the oldest blessed wells in Doonbeg Parish. It is dedicated to our Saviour. It's known therefore as our Redeemer's well. In the old days, many people used to come here and do the rounds, 7 times round the blessed well, saying the rosary, and then they would go in nearer and light votive candles and drink the water and sometimes rub it to their eyes. They were supposed to be curing it. And if one saw a fish in the water, that was a sure sign of a cure. Recently it has been renovated and painted by local people, lovers of the Blessed Well, and it looks wonderful. In the background one can see Doonbeg Bay and Rhinagonnocht, and McGrath's Point is the furthest out point of Rhinagonnocht, and it was here one of the ships of the Spanish Armada was wrecked in 1588. The name was San Esteban, and that is still remembered, and there's a guest house in Rhinagonnocht known as San Esteban. Further to the background one can see the outline of Duckmore Santills and Duckmore Bay. And it was here in 1941 that a British Air Force plane crashed into Duckmore Bay. Some local people here helped in the rescue, and one of them actually, Patrick Shanahan, who is still happily living with us, he was awarded a certificate of bravery by the British government. And now we're back to where it all started. Killard. This is Killard Cemetery, and one can see the ruin of Killard Church. Killard Church was built in the 10th or 11th century, and it was the principal church of the parish up to 1641. That year the Cromwellians arrived and they sacked Killard Church and they left it a ruin, and that's the way it is to the present day. Killard at that time and later was a town, and at one time we are told it had a population of thousands. Actually, the population of Doonbeg Parish, or Killard as it was known, was over 5,600. Today the population is 1,200. Here we are at the Shanahan McNamara Memorial Park, Doonbeg. This is the headquarters of Doonbeg football, and here Doonbeg football is enacted day after day, year after year, because football in Doonbeg is a religion. Actually, the park is called after 2 footballers. Willie Shanahan and Mikey McNamara used to play with the parish team. But of course they're better known because they made the supreme sacrifice when they died in the fight for freedom in 1920. And there's a beautiful monument here commemorating Shanahan and McNamara. And of course there is a ballad as well entitled Mac and Shanahan, still popular in Doonbeg pubs.
All through that night those 2 boys prayed to Almighty God on high, to enable them to die like Pierce, Con Colbert and McBride. When the morning dawned and those 2 boys yawned in their lonely prison cell, their memories did fly to the days gone by around fair and sweet Doonbeg. And while those boys thought deeply of their own loved ones at home, their hands with chains and handcuffs came in their prison door. They handcuffed, chained, and they brought him to a waiting lorry outside, and they murdered them on the Innis Road. Their hated laws revived. It was then the news went like the wind that young Michael Mac lay low, and also Willie Shanahan, the pride of Sweet Outmore. Their coffin draped in the tricolour was lonely laid to rest in that lonely graveyard of Doonbeg, the noblest and the best.
Now we'll take you to the football pitch itself and see a bit of action. A happier day for Doonbeg, a county final in 1991 when we played Milltown Malbay here. That was a day when we officially opened our new seated stand, and of course we won the county championship back. A day to be treasured.
County champions to defend their title against the home side, and Milltown playing from right to left. Flynn gathering it, Jerry McInerney, but Flynn getting inside. This is dangerous, half blocked down, and well intercepted, and a free out for Doonbeg. That's a great ball. In towards Michael McInerney, and that's a good point. So unquestionably the two McInerneys are combining in that particular effort. Emphasis switched to Doonbeg. This is a great opportunity for Denny Birmingham. Surely taken down. Referee has blown the whistle, and it's a penalty. A crucial kick. Will decide where Jack Daly Trophy will be going tonight. Off the post. Oh, an incredible miss. And a let off for Milltown. Comes back to Denny Birmingham. Milltown under pressure. Noel Curtin giving it out to his brother Jerry. Trying to send it down. Well read by Declan Hayes. And sending a ball straight across. Read by Jojo Ryan. Intercepted and cleared by the Army man based in Lahinch. Comes down to Timmy Killeen. Down to Pori Conway. Sending it out towards Declan Hayes. Doonbeg building nicely. Now, this is Conway again. And it comes straight across. This is Denny Birmingham on the favourite left leg and straight over the bar. His first score of the county final. It was a well-worked move. But once he gets within the range and onto the left leg, well, then you can pack your bags because Denny will put it straight over the bar. And you see, that's the difference at the moment. Doonbeg have plenty of support when they go into the attack. It's a great effort and a straight over the bar. A gentle crossfield breeze. I'm sure a welcome relief to the players in this year's county final. Nigel Dillon to Tony Keevy, easily dispossessed by Declan Conway, and from a potential Milltown attack goes straight into the Doonbeg half of the field, and taking too many steps with it, Francis McInerney. Ball comes straight to Jerry Killeen. This is surely an opportunity for Denny Birmingham, and this time he makes no mistake, made up for the last one. And congratulations to all the officials of Doonbeg Football Club, because they really have provided one of the finest grounds in the country, and certainly one of the finest in West Clare. Sloppy play results in Declan Hayes going through and off the post. Jerry Curtin, very much a relief man. And Doonbeg are county champions 1991 on a final scoreline of 10 points to 6. No player really letting his parish or his side down.
Yeah, it's a great honour. I think it's an honour every captain cherishes to try and captain a county-winning team. But it isn't often we get the chance. We got the chance in 1980 and we lost it. We got it today and we won it. That's what it's all about.
It was a tough match, but it was a good team performance by you and indeed all your colleagues.
Yeah, it was a good team performance by the 16, by James Downs. The way they came on made a big difference. Tuberty was a big loss to us, but I think our midfield really showed up today. That they are a good midfield.
Milltown were hot favourites as far as we were concerned, and I knew that those injuries were probably a little bit exaggerated. It's the kind of a tactic teams use. We had our own problems. They came good on the day Shawnee Hayes played. He was doubtful at the start, like he had a broken rib. But it shows the determination that's in the squad.
We're probably the best backs, I'd say, in the county, and it proved it yet today. Like, you know.
This is Doonbeg Parish Church, built in 1976. On the 15th of August, it was dedicated to Our Lady, and hence it's known as the Church of Our Lady Assumed into Heaven. It replaces an older church across the road and nearer to the centre of the village. That church was built in 1803 at the time of Napoleon. And here we are now, we are waiting for the Reunion Mass, which is one of the highlights of Doonbeg Reunion Week 1995.
Get over here. Prejudiced people here. Up to beg. Sometimes like it. Down here.
How are you doing? Yeah, your name and everything.
Good. Let's go and get a seat.
Oh,
What do you want? Just a blank paper? Thank you. Thank you.
and for the past 18 months, Doonbeg Reunion Committee has been calling on her exiles in the four corners of the globe to come home and to get together for this week in July. This evening, I am delighted to welcome sons and daughters of this parish from New Zealand, Australia, America, England, and some adopted sons from South America and from Africa. Welcome home.
The Lord said to Abraham, "Leave your country, your family, and your father's house for the land I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name so famous that it will be used as a blessing.
Bear with one another. Forgive each other as soon as a quarrel begins. The Lord has forgiven you. Now you must do the same."
We cannot all be famous or listed in Who's Who, but every person, great or small, has important work to do. For seldom do we realize the importance of small deeds, or to what degree of greatness unnoticed kindness leads. For it's not the big celebrity in a world of fame and praise, but it's doing unpretentiously, in undistinguished ways, the work that God assigned us, unimportant as it seems, that makes our task outstanding and brings reality to dreams.
Michael Conway brings the chalice with the wine. This wine is presented from the O'Donnell family coming from New Zealand. Claire Griffin carries the breads. These wine and this bread will be changed into the body and blood of our Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ. Madge Hayes carries the Bible, symbol of our religion, the faith that we live and practice in our daily lives. Mikey Griffin carries the book, the symbol of education. We have 5 schools in this parish, and we honour the work and ask God's blessing on the work in those 5 schools. We know of many of our people who have left this parish to immigrate to make a life abroad. Bridie McCarthy carries a carving of a boat and a plane, symbols of our means of transport, and also a report of the Irish chaplaincy in Britain to the year 2000. Sean Dillon carries 2 flags. The flag, the black and white flag of Doonbeg, and the tricolour, representing our honour and our prestige and our dignity in our own place and in our own country.
Doonbeg Castle dates back to the early 16th century. It was owned for much of that time by the McMahons. They were the local clansmen of West Clare. But curiously, they took the side of O'Neill and O'Donnell in the 9 Years' War, and therefore they were the enemies of O'Brien's of Thomond, who was on Elizabeth's side. The castle was fortified by a local chieftain, Taig Quake Mac Mahona, Taig the Blind McMahon, and he imprisoned a brother of the Earl of Thomond in a nearby castle. So, in punishment, the Earl of Thomond came here, captured the castle in 1599, and when the garrison surrendered, he hanged them all back to back. We are standing here in the centre of Doonbeg village, at Morrissey's Cross, as it's known. And I'm talking to Jack Downs, who lives beside Doonbeg Castle. Do you remember, Jack, when Doonbeg Castle fell?
I do, yeah.
That was 1939, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yes.
And I suppose I was a bit around 20 years then.
Yeah.
And I was up on the castle about a couple of hours before it fell. And when I was up there, and when I realised there was something happening, because I could hear creaks, you know, I heard one there, and the next thing I heard one behind me, and I looked around. And I got afraid, and I wasn't long coming down.
And how long were you down, Jack, when the crash actually happened?
Oh, a couple of hours. The bridge over there, there's a crowd along the bridge waiting for it to fall.
So it was looking like falling for quite a while before it actually fell.
It was. People kind of saw something. I didn't know nothing, only I went up to see.
Yeah.
But that's how it is.
It was supposed to be the day that World War II broke out, September 1939.
39.
Would that be true?
Yeah, it was about that time anyway.
Yeah. Actually, it's in the Doonbeg book that it fell on the day that World War II broke out.
Is that so? Yeah.
That's what Francie Killeen has in an article, which would indicate that Hitler might have something to do with it. Would you accept that?
No, forget about that.
Very good, so Jack. Here we have Paddy Cotter. Paddy is a farmer, but in his day he was a great athlete and competed successfully at Balaha Sports and many other sports throughout Munster. Paddy, how are you?
First class.
And the health is good?
Okay, perfect.
That's right. Paddy, there's a wonderful view from your house.
Oh, it is fair enough, all right. You can see it, Mutton Island and along. You can see the Loch Donnell and sure the Cloher, as the people call it, there, the reef between the Atlantic and Loch Donnell.
Yes. And there's a bit of history attached to this place, isn't there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about a castle that was here one time, near your house?
Yeah, it was one of Lord Clare's castles, I suppose, it's knocked a couple of 100 years now, you know.
Yeah.
The old people, you say that all the stones that came along to build all the houses here along, they came out of it, you know, and the wood and all the stones are still there.
Yes. And there's an island here, which is clearly visible this evening.
That's Mutton Island, you mean?
Yes, and the other one?
Mottle Island.
Yes.
That's then to the about an acre of ground, I suppose. The grandest flag quarry you could ask for is in it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And tell me about the Kelly brothers.
Well, their grandfather, this John and Patrick Kelly, they're dead now. Their grandfather was the head centre of the Fenians. And he was being on their own. He spent 2 years outside, 2 winters outside in the lake house, to all people saying outside in the land flib that.
Yes.
And there was another John Kelly in Clannishe that was arrested. And he got out fairly late in after that.
Yeah.
But he had,
was that a mistake, the arrest of the other John Kelly?
Oh, it was John Kelly. He lived in Clonagardner, and after he was the head centre of the Fenians.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Do you remember anybody living in the island?
That's Mutton Island, you know.
Yes.
Well, the Kelleher's lived there years ago. It belonged to the Griffins in Innis. The McDonoughs in Milltown had it for a time.
Yeah.
And the Griffins in, and the Kelleher's lived there. And there was a man of the Sextons minding cattle there afterwards.
Yeah. Is it true, Paddy, that the land is good in Mutton Island?
Oh, yes. Oh, the eastern part of it was very good.
Yes.
And Michael Casey had it for years then.
Yeah.
And he could get enough boys, bring back enough porter to the quay, as the saying goes, and they'd swim out after the cattle for him.
Living near the Atlantic, Paddy, you have good stories about the storms.
Oh, yes.
Have you heard of the storm of 1903?
Yes, I heard that it was, the old people were comparing it to the big wind, 1839. but lots of people were saying that it wasn't as bad, you see. People that remembered 1839 at that time, you see.
Yeah.
But this man, Mickey Carney was his name, he died coming home from Kilrush.
Was he from Doonbeg village?
He was, Manny Carney's husband.
Ah, yes.
That's brought him home and he did, the poor man. It seems he wore a truss.
I know.
But he landed, I used to, all the people I was talking about it.
A victim of the storm of 1903.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Paddy, because it's not mentioned in the book.
Oh, yes.
And people ask me why I didn't have a bit about Manny Carney.
Oh, sure, we all know Manny in our youth. We used to all the time call in there for sweets and all that, when going to confession and all, around the first communion time and all that.
Yes.
She was a household word around here, anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
We are now at the house of John Shanahan, Duckmore. John is a retired school teacher and knows quite a lot about the locality here and its history. So we'll visit John. John, would you tell me a bit about the immigration from this part of the parish?
Well, immigration was rife at the times in the 1920s that I can remember. There were all big families, you know.
Yes.
Down there at the Stacks, and they had only a cottage plot. There were about 10 in that family, I'd imagine. It was America anyway in the 1920s. Not so much in the 30s on account of the Wall Street crash.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That was, I think, 1929 or thereabouts.
Yeah.
But then, of course, Roosevelt came on with his No Deal and things brightened up a little, and there was a little immigration, I suppose, then after that, but not much. It would be to England, of course, during the war years.
We are now talking to Dan and Miranda McInerney, home from San Francisco.
It was 1910 that my father left here, Mike McInerney, from the little pink house down the corner there.
Good.
Came out to San Francisco, and here I am at age 72, enjoying every bit of it here and bringing back to memory all the stories that my father told me.
Good. Thank you very much, Dan and Miranda McInerney.
Sure now. It's a pleasure.
This is Clohan's National School, built 106 years ago, and they celebrated in style in 1989 with a big centenary bash, and their past pupils came home from all parts of the world. So you could say they had their own family reunion here in Clohan's. It is beautifully set, overlooking Duckmore Bay, and to the left here we have Duckmore Santals. This is Shra National School, built in 1933. It was renovated over the past 20 years and is looking quite good. To the rear of Shra National School, the West Clare Railway used to run, and in the old days, many people from West Clare emigrated in their hundreds to New York, London, and the farthest ends of the world. During the emergency too, the West Clare brought a lot of turf out of Doonbeg, Munmore, Tullaher, and Shra Bogs. Actually, one local wit said that Hitler did more for the economy of West Clare than all the native governments put together. This is Doonbeg National School, situated in Doonbeg village. It is over 120 years old, and many generations of Doonbeg children have passed here. It has been renovated in recent years, newly roofed and painted for the Doonbeg Reunion.
Here we are.
remember 62. I was 16 and so were you. And we lived next door on the avenue. Jerry Lee was big and Elvis too. Blue jeans and blue suede shoes, and we never knew what life held in store. We just wanted to rock and roll forevermore. We were the rock and roll kids. Rock and roll was all we did. And listening to those songs on the radio. I was yours and you were mine. That was once upon a time. Now we never seem to rock and roll anymore.
in the dome of the Doonbeg Reunion Week. And we have 300 guests here tonight at the reunion banquet. And I have here beside me Martin McCarthy, Chairman of Doonbeg Reunion. Martin, has the reunion been a success?
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, Joe, you've only got to look around. See those people that have come in from all corners of the world. And we've spoke to most days, sort of thing, like, you know, and listen to their come-ins, and God, how they say we thank you and what you've done. And this is making us proud for to do that, just to get those people together. It's unbelievable, the feelings they have, the feelings we have for getting to them together. I'll tell you, it's unique and it's wonderful. And I love every second of it, Joe.
This is Padraig Hawk, the Lord Mayor of Doonbeg. Padraig, what has this reunion meant to Doonbeg?
It has meant that people that were away from home, that would never get the opportunity of meeting one another in one gathering, have come home to meet in one gigantic circle here at Doonbeg, and they love every minute of it.
Father Pat, you preached the homily at the reunion mass on Sunday, and you were terrific. Have you met many old friends?
Well, on Sunday after Mass, I thought, Joe, the atmosphere outside the church was something else. It was tremendous to see old friends and to see them renewing acquaintances in the village. It's been a tremendous occasion for Doonbeg, and I think the committee who organised the whole thing deserve tremendous credit. It's a headline for any other parish to keep in touch with immigrants, bring them home, and make them enjoy the facilities we have in Doonbeg itself.
I'm speaking to Sinan Fitzmartin, home from Dallas, Texas. Sinan, did you really come all the way from Texas for this reunion?
Yes, I did. I was home here in January before, and I couldn't wait for this reunion to happen. We've been talking about it for so long. This is just fantastic. The Doonbeg is alive and well again in '95. It's unreal. These people here are out of this world. The youth are great. The team effort, the team spirit, the attitude, the communication, the quality people, the quality that you look around and see what's around you, it's just mind-boggling. It's just unbelievable. I'm telling you, you can go anywhere in the United States and not find something like what you found here tonight.
This is Dolores O'Donnell Murray from Dublin. Dolores is a native of Doonbeg and has come home for the reunion. Dolores, I want to thank you for all the help you gave me with the book. What did the book mean to you?
Oh, it's just Doonbeg alive, Joe, and the stories are wonderful, and just so many memories of my childhood. And I congratulate everybody from Doonbeg on the book and on the reunion. It's been absolutely marvellous.
You're enjoying the reunion?
Oh, very much so. I've met all my friends from many, many years back, and it's as if we never left Doonbeg. It's been wonderful.
Mort McInerney. Mort, last night you were presented with the Bena Marenta Medal for your great services to the church in Doonbeg and in the parish. Mort, how many years have you been doing this work?
Oh, I started, I suppose, when I was 9, serving Mass in 1947. And I suppose since then I have been associated with the church.
That's almost 50 years of service.
That's right, yeah. But I don't think that people should be given medals for doing the things they enjoy doing. And you couldn't do what I had been doing unless everyone was cooperating. Yeah. So the cooperation in this parish is simply marvellous.
Have you met many of your former friends here at Reunion Week?
Oh, indeed, I've been delighted to meet an awful lot of them now. We have the Chamberses and the McInerneys and you have the O'Donnells, the Hayeses. You know, it's great to meet all of those, and the Dylans, and I'd leave out somebody for sure.
Thank you,
and
Mort.
Of course the Hurleys as well.
Right, yeah, thank you, Mort. I have Tommy Comerford here with me. Tommy is chairman of Doonbeg Development. And Tommy, is Reunion Week part of Doonbeg Development? And what do you see as the offshoots from this week?
Well, what we're trying to do with Doonbeg Community Development is bring people back to Doonbeg. And by focusing in on this reunion, we are bringing back the people who have left Doonbeg. Hopefully, we can convince them at some stage in their life to come back and maybe reside in Doonbeg once more. And we see this as an ongoing thing. From this event this year, we hope to build on future events.
And by promoting Doonbeg with this reunion, we can see a lot of bright things for the future happening in Doonbeg.
This is Mary Buckley. Mary is a member of Doonbeg Reunion Committee, and you're also a member of Clare Leader Programme, isn't that right, Mary? Who would you like to thank here on behalf of Leader?
I would like to thank everyone that's involved with Leader and all the business that supported us, and I hope we're always together after this and work together and enjoy it.
Margaret Dillon, Secretary of Doonbeg Reunion. Margaret, it has been a fantastic week, hasn't it?
It has been a marvellous week. I suppose after all the hard work since 1993, we are very, very pleased with the results.
Will you have another reunion week, Margaret?
Well, the way we felt this evening, maybe we said never again. But when you have the highlights, you feel maybe within the next 5 years. I don't think it's something you could do every year. It would lose its momentum and its specialness in this parish. But possibly in the future, not next year, I know.
In 5 years' time, perhaps?
5 years' time, and hopefully we'll have another book written. Joe has some lines here to say that he has to record still.
So here we are in what is fondly known as Doonbeg Dome. And we have over 300 people here enjoying themselves at the reunion banquet. Unfortunately, I have to leave you. So until we meet again, this is Joe Hurley saying goodbye to you. And now we'll have a look back over some Doonbeg shots and enjoy the scenery and the people of Doonbeg.
West Clare, land of the wild Atlantic, land of 1,000 welcomes. Take some time to get to know us. You'll leave with the warmest of memories.
I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane in Doonbeg. We met the people of Doonbeg and places of interest. If you want more information about Doonbeg, why not buy a book only recently published about Doonbeg? It is a 340-page publication, chock full of beautiful stories and photographs, and it is priced £10. The title of the book is Doonbeg, A Story to Tell, and I guarantee you'll enjoy it. To purchase this book, write to Doonbeg Tourist Office, Doonbeg, County Clare, Ireland, or ring this number 065 552 88.